Barack Hussein Obama was the first black president, a community organizer, one-term senator from Illinois, and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. See, like, the first sentence was almost normal. Now, we got to talk about Trump's latest trolling. There's really nothing else you can call it, but in keeping with all the other things he's doing to redesign and redecorate and revamp the White House and the presidency more broadly, Trump has decided to redo the presidential portraits in the White House in a strange way. I don't really know another word. Juvenile, immature, but he basically added underneath all the portraits that they have, like text blurbs that he seems to have written himself, a lot of it, that read like Truth Social screeds. And this is like the official White House now. Let's watch this video. This is CNN's Caitlin Collins walking through the updated presidential portraits and describing what Trump has done to them. Watch this.
So these new plaques have just been added to the so-called Presidential Walk of Fame. They almost read, some of them, like Truth Social posts, including the ones under President Obama's that says he was one of the most divisive political figures in American history. Under President Biden's, it describes him as Sleepy Joe Biden and also says that he was the worst U.S. president in history. There are some that are nicer, including under Ronald Reagan's, for example, where President Trump says at the end that he was a fan of Trump's long before he ran for president. The White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, says the president actually hand-wrote some of these plaques himself.
Oh, really? Did he handwrite them? I couldn't tell from the fact that it refers to Joe Biden as Sleepy Joe. Folks, come on. This is what we're doing inside the beacon of the American government. This is what we're doing. Official government portraits. We're putting incoherent partisan rants underneath them. It's insane. It's so immature. It's so petty. Why is Trump unable to focus on things that actually matter sometimes? Why does he have to do this? And then some of the things he put in them, like substantively, are either factually wrong or just like crazy takes. To say, I think Joe Biden was a pretty bad president, but to say he's the worst president in American history is kind of crazy work. We've had presidents that are responsible for like thousands and thousands of deaths and massive atrocity. Like, it's a crazy take to suggest Sleepy Joe is really the worst we've ever had. And all of it is so divisive. And here's the thing. It's like, do you think this is going to work out for you in the long run? What do you think they're going to put under your portrait next? Since now we've just totally bastardized these displays, which are supposed to be just historical. They're supposed to have some dignity, some grace, represent, American, the pinnacle of American government. Since now we've bastardized them, we've turned them into a total joke. We've made them rants and screeds. What do you think will happen to yours the next time a Democrat comes in? What do you think they're going to put in that box, right? I want to show you what Trump put for Obama's box, for example, because it shows you kind of how partisan this stuff has been, and how it's just not, I think, going to age well. So I'll read you this. Barack Hussein Obama was the first black president, a community organizer, one-term senator from Illinois, and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. See, like, the first sentence was almost normal, and then at the end it had to go off the rails. As president, he passed the highly ineffective Unaffordable Care Act, resulting in his party losing control of both houses of Congress and the election of the largest House Republican majority since 1946. He presided over a stagnant economy, approved the terrible Iran nuclear deal, and signed the one-sided Paris Climate Accords, both of which were later terminated by President Donald J. Trump. Now, I should be clear. I agree with a fair amount of those criticisms of President Obama. I think a lot of what he did not go well. I'm not here saying like any of this is necessarily wrong, though it's very juvenile in the way it's being articulated and expressed. It's very immature. It's more so that you are bastardizing the portraits. You are turning them into partisan slop with these fake plaques added underneath them that aren't even part of the portraits. They literally look like somebody just, I don't know, glued these to the wall. It just is a joke. It makes our government look pathetic. And I don't understand why his aides enable this. Can't they tell him, Mr. President, we can't do this. This is ridiculous. I'm not even going to read the rest of this. It's such a partisan rant, and it's so embarrassing. And again, what do you think they're going to do to yours, Trump? They are going to put a plaque, whether it is President Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris or AOC or whoever the next Democratic president is. They are going to put a plaque calling you all sorts of terrible things, talking about your failed economy, talking about whatever. And none of it has to be true. None of it has to be neutral. None of it has to be historical. They're going to do the same thing to you. And that's going to drive Trump insane. But he opened this door. He wanted to play stupid games. And so I'm not going to have any sympathy for him when he wins stupid prizes. This is what we say. I mean, this is so petty. This is so immature that you even had prominent Fox News hosts like Brian Kilmeade, who normally would defend whatever Trump does, really, come out and say, nah, I'm out. Like, I can't support this one. Listen to this.
Brian, are you pro troll plaque?
No, I'm not. I'm not for this at all. I don't think so. They got to take or just mock President Trump or put something on his plaque. So I'm not for the auto pen. If he's going to do it outdoors and do that, just do it right. Just put the profiles up there. I'm not for dispelling or saying anything bad. Plus, a lot of presidents that people think were bad, like Ulysses S. Grant, ended up being looked at as great. I don't think it's going to happen with Joe Biden, but I'm not for the trolling.
I also do not think it's going to happen with Joe Biden. Call me crazy. But yeah, it's like, this is just so obviously short-sighted and immature. And what are we going to do? Are we really at the point in American politics where we can't even have presidential portraits? Every 4 years, the portraits are going to get taken down. They're going to go in, and they're going to take out the screws, hammer in new ones, and put up new partisan slop. What are we doing? What? Our country is turning into a joke. Other countries see this and laugh at us, and I normally don't care because I think they have their own problems. But this is one where, like, yeah, I would laugh too, honestly. I find it all ridiculous. I don't think Democrats are going to rise above it and just take them down and not put anything up when Trump leaves office. Now, that's what I think you should do if you wanted to restore decency and integrity. They're not going to do that. Especially somebody like Gavin Newsom, he's gonna troll back 10 times harder. And it's all just part of this toxic spiral where our system of government and our way of life slowly degrades as our country circles down the drain. But other than that, they're doing amazing in DC. Really, I find that to be insane. But y'all, please tell me what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and all of that.